What is going on, everybody? Hey, we are excited to be back for another episode. I think it's episode number 16 of the CCPODCAST. My name is Mike Sexton. I'm the junior high pastor here at Bethany Church in Long Beach, California. And I'm here with my main man, my main squeeze, my friend.
Oh, that's an introduction to me. See, that's been like, when normal podcast people or just anybody in general, you don't say my friend, and then stop talking and assume that I've got to pick it up. But anyways, my name is Jacob Allen Nielsen, high school pastor here at Bethany Church. Excited to be with you guys. As you guys can notice, we're in a new location if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify, hopefully the sound quality is better because we're not using...
We're praying it's better.
We're not using our crappy just earbud microphones. We have actual microphones. We're going to be slowly but surely adding more and more to make the quality of this thing actually presentable.
I think that's really the goal.
Yeah.
We just want to do a podcast that's not trash.
Right. Because even the lighting makes me feel like I'm in a more professional environment with the microphone in front of me.
Yeah.
Makes me want to do a good job.
I feel like I'm more attractive behind these lights.
Yeah. Oh, lighting definitely. Well, okay. We're just gonna get into this. It's crazy to me how much lighting can actually improve somebody's looks.
I know.
You can look ugly. Okay, so there's this one specific photo, Demi Lovato. Have you seen this photo?
No.
Oh my, okay, I gotta show you after. It's lighting and the angle, and she's kind of moving in one, but she looks like a warlock in one of the photos.
Wait.
But then there's another angle of this picture where with better lighting, and she looks angelic. Dude, I'll show you after. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's Demi Lovato. You can look it up. I don't know exactly what to Google. Google Demi Lovato picture from one camera angle to another. Night and day, dude.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So lighting makes you more attractive.
I love that.
I think it says that in Leviticus somewhere too.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, so we're excited you guys are here. We got a couple different things for you guys. The number one thing, or the very first thing, is we need to get a baby update. Michael Sexton and his wife Hannah Sexton are about to have a child. In how many days? What does that look like? Are
Honestly,
you freaking out? Come on.
Honestly, who knows? Who knows how many days this baby's coming? So last week on Tuesday, we were supposed to be 34 weeks, and everybody knows a pregnancy is about 40 weeks long, right? And so at 34 weeks, our doctor says, hey, you're measuring at 37 weeks. I'm not fully convinced that you're 37 weeks, but there's a good chance that you are.
So when they say measure at 37 weeks, what does that mean?
Like the size of the baby.
Okay.
At this point. She goes, I don't think you're having a really big baby. I just think you might be farther along than we thought. And once you hit 37 weeks, it's like the baby could come whenever. Like if the baby comes out past 37 weeks, I think they consider it a full-term pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
All that sort of stuff. And then it's already been a week since then. So we're at minimum 35 weeks. So we only have like 5 weeks left. And at maximum, we're at 38, which means that the baby could come literally any day.
So you're in the danger zone.
We're in the danger zone. You have a key to my apartment to take care of my dog whenever that day comes.
Oh my gosh, we're excited.
But it is, dude, it's coming up soon. We're excited. We got everything we need. I just can't wait to hold that little munchkin in my arms, give her kisses on her face.
Yeah. Yeah, what did you say about your daughter before we started this podcast?
She's going to be so cute.
Okay, that's what you said. We'll leave it at that. Oh my goodness. So how, like, is the baby room all dialed in? What is that looking like? You got the car seats, all that good stuff.
Everything is dialed in. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cluttered in the baby's room right now because we have like the little rocker that like she lays in and it just like rocks her to sleep.
Okay.
I don't know what they call that. That's going to be in the living room, but we don't want it just sitting in the living room before she's here, right? So it's sitting in the middle of the room. But we have like the rocking chair, we have her crib, we have her changing table, we got everything. Stroller, we got the car seat in the car now because we, went to the hospital the other day.
Right.
We got everything. It's ready. We got diapers. We got
teething like extra
toys.
Formula.
We do have formula. We're going to try and breastfeed.
For the most,
But if we can't, obviously, you never know. But yes, we have formula, all that kind of stuff, dude.
So
We're prepared.
Sick. That's so wild. You can literally get a phone call during this recording and have a child.
Yes.
And several hours after. That's wild
I know.
to me.
And then the crazy part is like, Me and Hannah were talking about this the other day. They're like, my whole life, like, you've been around babies or whatever, and you, like, hold the baby, you're like, oh, so cute. But then, like, you just hand it to the parent. And
After
you're
15
like,
minutes,
you're like,
yeah.
I'm done with this. I don't want it anymore.
Right.
But, like, now people are going to be doing that to us. They're like, I'm tired of holding your baby. This is yours. And you can't say no. Like, you're stuck.
Dude, and the trip for me, like, having a child is that it's not like picking up a dog from a pound.
No.
You know when the dog's coming. You're prepared for it.
Yep.
But this, you don't know. And
No.
that freaks me the freak out to think about.
Yeah, my sister, they just had a baby. My niece is 10 months old now.
Okay.
But they said the scariest thing was just like a day and a half after the baby came out. They're just like, all right, you can go home. And my brother-in-law was like, there's no like manual or anything. You just have to do it. And so
That's crazy.
I think that's what I'm most nervous about. Is like the first like 2-3 months where the baby's like not even really responsive to you.
Yeah.
Like they don't smile at your face. Like they're just
Right.
like a sleep pee poo.
Ugh, and that's so crazy. People have been raising children for thousands and thousands. Some people might argue millions. Depends on if you're old Earth, new Earth. We don't need to get into that conversation right now. Jeff, never mind. We don't need to get into that right now. But old Earth, new Earth, thousands of years. People have been raising babies. Could you imagine being in a cave somewhere, just in the dirt, muck, and your baby's just out and about? No like little incubators, no little breathing things, just out the womb into the world.
Nope.
No bassinets.
Nope.
No formula.
We do have a bassinet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got a bassinet. There's no such thing as bassinets 3,000 years ago.
No.
Well, maybe out of wood. I don't know. Anyways, clearly I'm not a historian. Anyways, let's get into our next subject. So we want to be able to make sure we're updating you guys on Baby Roads 2020. So we'll keep you up to date on a week-to-week basis. But next topic we're going to be getting into is the topic of TikTok. So we're not going into any specific videos, or we can, but we're not going into any specific talk. It's just literally talking about TikTok. What are your feelings about TikTok? What first comes to your mind? What is that?
So it's one of those things that grows on you, is what I'll say.
Okay.
So I downloaded it
Yeah.
for junior high ministry, going like,
Right.
oh, we could probably use this. It's weird. Didn't like it at first.
Okay.
Absolutely hated it.
Okay.
I hated the amount of like videos of just like 15-year-old girls dancing,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
But then once I actually was on the app for a little bit, and the algorithm figured out the type of videos I liked.
You like, got
and
it.
like I don't see those videos that made me feel uncomfortable that they were on my screen. I feel a lot better about it. And now there's a
Yes.
lot of funny videos I see. Like
Totally.
it just reminds me of Vine, except
Okay.
for it's a lot just quicker to get through.
Nice.
And I just kill time, man. It's
That's
funny.
convenient.
It makes me laugh. I saw a video the other day of a guy on a jet ski that like jumped awake and then like went down like in the water, like underneath the water, and then came up. It was crazy.
That's freaking hype.
It was
dude.
absolutely nuts.
That's wild. So when you think about, do you have your own personal TikTok, or do you just have the herd's TikTok? What does that look
So
like?
I do technically have my own. I don't use it.
Oh, okay.
Like I put like 2 videos on there
Right.
during this quarantine.
Right.
When videos I had already recorded
Okay.
of me just being stupid, like on my Instagram story,
Totally.
just trying to go viral. You know what I mean?
Casual.
Who knows if I
Everybody's just trying to go viral.
didn't go viral, obviously.
Clearly.
And
you're still here.
I'm still here. And and it's funny. I just like
Yeah.
watching the videos. I don't really post anything.
Okay, you don't post anything.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't have a TikTok. I'm not necessarily fighting it. I just haven't downloaded it yet. I've heard a lot of people like it. From what I know of TikTok, and as you were even stating, it just seems like it's a bunch of like 15-year-olds trying to shake their stuff in front of the camera, which I'm like, you can express yourself however you want.
Yeah.
It just, I'm an adult and I don't want to be watching a high school or
Yeah.
junior high girl
Yep.
like shake their booty in front of the camera. Just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, but I've heard that there's a ton of different videos. Like, there's a bunch of like even videos that are helpful to watch,
Yeah.
like tips and tricks on how to clean a garbage disposal.
Yep.
Like you load it up with ice and then you run it with water, and then a bunch of black gunk comes up and it just helps clean the garbage. I'm like, that's helpful. I
Yeah.
need to know how to do that
Yeah.
for my daily life.
Yeah.
So that's what TikTok can do for you.
Yeah.
So if you're a hater out there, and if you're somebody that's like, I'm anti-TikTok because, number one, you're probably too old. You might be even a boomer. Number two, maybe you're just sad, and maybe it's a misconception like all of us.
Yeah.
You just don't know exactly what it is because you haven't had the deep dive into it.
Yeah.
What like, so tell me about dances. I know you have done at least one dance.
I have done one dance, yes.
So are the dances easier or are they harder than what they look like?
Harder.
For sure.
So hard.
For sure.
The one I did, well, Hannah and I did it together.
Yeah.
It was, when I saw it, I literally went on YouTube because I didn't feel like looking through trying to find dances.
Okay.
So I just went on YouTube and I was like, what are the popular ones or whatever?
Oh, popular. You didn't even go easy TikTok.
No, just
you went popular
ones.
TikTok.
And I went with the easiest one I thought.
Okay.
And dude, it took freaking 65 takes for Hannah and I to get it right at the same time. And at the end, I was like drenched in sweat, bro. I was dying, but it turned out good. I felt good about myself.
Oh.
Emotionally.
Were you not feeling spiritually? The Lord help you. The Holy Spirit guided you to do those dance moves.
It was fun. The kids loved it. We had all the leaders, or most of the leaders, record themselves doing the same dance, and then I put together like a compilation of us all trying to do it during this whole quarantine thing.
So good.
It was fun.
So good. I know, because I watched the videos. I've seen some of the dancing ones, and I'm like, they look simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I talked to people that have done it, and it's actually really hard. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm going to look like a dang fool. I know it. You know? But I'm like, there's a part of me that kind of wants to do it. But I'm like, am I going to be a grown man that's doing like TikTok?
I want you to. I feel like you would go viral.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I want to be a grown man in my mirror practicing for 30 minutes and then try and hope to God I get it right one time.
Yep. I think you need to do it.
I don't know.
Maybe, Make a vow.
My fortune cookie I just got for lunch.
See?
So we just went to Panda Express, and it said, discover the hidden talents inside, or something like that.
TikTok is it.
So maybe it's TikTok. Wow, you guys heard it here first.
Dude, get yourself a TikTok.
I need to get myself a TikTok. I need to practice. Okay.
Let's go.
So maybe at some point you'll see me at TikTok dancing.
Just on your For You page.
On my
Jacob
For You.
Allen Nielsen rolling.
Dude, you might see me out there, 50,000 views, easy. Call me the next Charlie D'Amelio or whatever that girl is that's going on freaking Fallon. Like, it's unbelievable, like, the amount of stardom you can get from being, like, on one of these famous, I don't know, Instagram or TikTok people, Instagram people. You just create a following, and for whatever reason, the population chooses you to be the representative of TikTok.
I love that.
That's so weird to me.
I love that.
Wow. Maybe that's what I need to get into.
He needs to do it. We'll put a vote out there.
Yeah.
Actually, we won't. He's just gonna do it.
I'll just do it. Yeah. Because that's my hidden talent. Hidden.
It's my hidden talent.
My hidden talent inside, for sure.
Love that.
Interesting.
Love that for you.
All right. What does your wife like TikTok? How does she feel about it?
She likes the ones that I send her. She does not have it.
She doesn't have it herself.
She kind of doesn't like it. She hates her phone. She never's on her phone.
Okay. She tries to stay off.
I'm on my phone all the time.
Gotcha.
I'm like
for work and then just because you like it.
Yeah, because I like it.
Fair enough.
I like videos of dogs and babies. They make me laugh.
Dog. Oh, what about a combo video with dogs and babies?
I'm all about it.
Come on.
Like,
love
there's
that.
this one, I don't even know what the sound is, but they like shake water on like a baby that's like sitting up like an infant or whatever.
Wait, like they shake water? What do you mean?
Like they have a water bottle and like this to the beat, they like shake it so like water comes out on the baby's head, and the reaction of all the babies is freaking hilarious, bro.
What?
It's so funny. I'll have to show you.
It sounds like torture, bro.
No, it's like a little bit. Like it's like that on their face, and then the baby's like,
wait,
it's so funny, dude.
Wait, if you guys, for those of you that are listening to on Spotify or Apple or whatever, Mike just shook convulsively to show what the babies were looking like. Once again, that's torture, bro.
No,
there's
it's
no
funny.
way.
You have to watch it. It's funny. And then there's this other one where like it's like, I don't know if it's like Michael Scott from The Office, where it's like, oh, parkour, or something like that. And it's like dogs, like, you know when dogs get like a wild hair up their butt and they're just like running around like crazy, and it's just videos of dogs like jumping off of furniture in their living room. And dude, they're so funny, bro. They're hilarious.
Oh my gosh, dude, if you don't have your own genre of videos that you like, you need to go out and do some research.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you need to go out and do some research. Maybe you like baby videos. Maybe you like dog videos. Come on. Maybe you like grandma's falling videos. I don't know what it is. Dude, grandma's falling? Old people falling is hilarious.
That's not funny.
It's really funny.
You're a jerk.
Because they fall so, like, slowly, and they can't stop themselves.
Break their hips.
Well,
messed
that's
up.
really sad.
You're a
Obviously,
bully.
there's like a point to where it's too far, but them just like falling out of their chairs and stuff, it's hilarious because they're like, ooh, slow motion. They can't
He's a
stop
bully.
themselves.
Jacob's a bully.
That is true. That is true. I just don't like old people too. That's another topic for another time. Sorry. If you're anybody over 65 and above, probably don't like you. Oh, just kidding. Anyways, AKA half our church. Oh, dude, you definitely can't say that. We'll say it anyways. We'll leave it in. It's the honest truth. You know, get over yourself. Anyways, pushing into our next topic. It is June. What is it? 8th? June 9th?
10th.
Oh my gosh, June 10th already. And so we want to talk about graduation. Students are graduating.
Come
8th
on.
graders, 5th graders,
Come
high
on.
schooler. Maybe you're a college graduate. Maybe you're 35 years old and you're working on that doctorate and you just graduated.
Come on.
We just want to talk about our graduation stories, how we felt, and just what it means to graduate from something. It's a great milestone.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of your graduations. Tell me about some stories that you remember. What were the moments that you're like, this is going to be a moment I can remember forever?
Yeah, I think for me, it wasn't, so my high school graduation,
Yeah.
it wasn't the actual graduation day that was really special for me. It was where I had my graduation party, like where my friends, family all came over to my house, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And it was just a really cool day because I remember I actually had a baseball game that day, and it was in the middle of the MLB draft as well.
Oh.
And I was supposed to get drafted that year, and I was playing the game. My dad had my phone because they'll call you and let you know, whatever.
Right.
Didn't get a call. I was super discouraged. I was like, gosh, I'm not going to get drafted, whatever. I was all bummed out. And I get home, and my graduation party is that night at about 2 hours later. And so I'm waiting for people to come over, and like everyone that was coming over knew I was supposed to get drafted that year, and I was getting all bummed, sad, whatever. And I was like, people are going to come and be like, oh, when did you get drafted? Because people don't actually pay attention to the draft, that
They
sort of
don't
thing.
know. Yeah.
And so I was getting all nervous and bummed out that
Right.
was going to be my graduation party. And then about 20 minutes before everyone was supposed to be there, I get a call, and I got drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 38th round. So I was all pumped up, right? Just got drafted. And then like all of these people come over, and like it was just a really special day because it was celebrating graduation, and then like everything I've worked for my whole entire life, like all on the same day.
Both, yeah.
It was super, super cool, a really special day.
I love that.
Yeah, I remember my dad, he was so nice. It was so nice. He got a sign that I got drafted or whatever.
Yeah.
He put it outside the front of the house, and I got pissed, and I told him to take it down because I was mad I got drafted so late. And I feel bad about it to this day. But yeah, it was super sweet. That was probably my best experience in terms of graduation.
So cool. Well, and I think that's the special part about graduating, or you had a kind of a twofer on the same day. But like that sense of accomplishment, whether like you were somebody like me who did terrible in school and like had to really make up for it, and you just get that sense of accomplishment of like, wow, praise God, I actually actually graduated high school. Or, you've been working really hard in a sport for many, many years, and even if you're the 38th round, you still get that sense of like accomplishment by being drafted. Or, you're somebody who was brilliant, studied 4.0, APs, valedictorian, whatever, and then that sense of like you all feel that on that day, even if you're just an average student and you just graduated. There hopefully is a sense of accomplishment that you did a huge milestone in your life, whether that's 8th grade into high school is a little bit easier because it feels like everybody kind of does that.
Yeah.
But if you're a high school graduate or like a college graduate, you've been working 20 years for, college.
Yeah.
And then high school, 12 years of your entire life is dedicated to that one moment.
Yeah.
So like really appreciate that. And hopefully you feel blessed and honored by the people that are around you because that is something that's really special.
For sure.
So like what about like any funny, silly moments that you can think of when you think of like a graduation?
Oh, man. I don't know if this is silly. It was what I told you earlier today.
Oh, well, maybe not. Silly maybe is the wrong word, but it's funny.
Yeah. So in high school, I was an idiot. My students, this. I share these stories all the time with you guys.
Right.
But I used to smoke weed, do all of those sorts of things. And on my graduation day, my mom, like, you're graduating, whatever. You're like, oh, my parents don't actually care anymore. Like, I'm an adult. I'm about to go to college. I can do whatever I want.
Right.
And my mom, like, I don't remember what she said, but I was just like, yeah, Mom, I used to smoke weed all the time. Like about an hour before I went to graduation. And my mom just starts crying because she had no idea. And then I felt terrible. And it's just such a stupid like high school thing to do. Like,
Right.
why would I say that? I wasn't doing it anymore. Like, it was like I hadn't done it for like a year and a
was in the
half
past,
or
yeah.
whatever. It was like from my sophomore and junior year, and I was a senior, you know, and so it was just so like, why did I feel like that was the moment to break that to my mom, like right when she's about to celebrate her son graduating high school? I just wanted to ruin it, dude. But
I love
just,
that.
it's just so stupid.
I love that.
But yeah, dude, graduations, like you were saying, it's a lot of work, and I think sometimes like it gets a bad rap that like, oh, you're supposed to graduate high school, but it's like.
Right.
It is an accomplishment. Like, there's a reason why our society in general celebrates graduating high school.
Right.
It's because it's extremely important. It's
Yeah.
not only like a milestone for you, like academically, but it's a milestone for you just in life. Like, of a huge transition of like your life is going from you being supported by your parents to now you having the possibility to take control of your own life
Right.
and kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the accomplishment of graduating high school, we don't like celebrate enough almost. Like, it's like, oh, everyone should do this. When it's like,
Right.
no, that's a super good, like amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't. And also like, it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
it takes hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to diminish that, I think is just silly. Like, you guys should be proud of yourselves for
Yeah.
graduating high school and like getting
Totally.
to have the opportunity to possibly go to college or just start working.
Totally.
You know, like starting working, making money. Like, I have a lot of friends that didn't go to college and are way farther along
Yeah.
financially than I am,
Right.
just because they started in the workforce sooner than me. And so it's
Yeah.
a really cool stage of life that you just get to decide, like, okay, I've been in my parents' house forever. You
Yeah.
can stay there, great, or you don't have to, and you
Right.
can kind of just choose to do what you want and kind of make your own decisions to lead you down the path that you want to go. So it's just a
Yeah.
really, really exciting time, I feel like, in life, and also kind of stressful.
Very stressful for
Yeah.
a lot of like life choices. And I think what's cool now is like moving into a culture where it's way more accepting of doing your own path. Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of paths, a lot of ways to skin a cat,
Yeah.
however you want to
Yeah.
like phrase that. But there's a lot of ways to go into life after. It could,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you go into the army, or you go to
Yeah.
the college and then army, 8 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just go to college. Maybe you take 2 years off because you really want to discover yourself, or
Yeah.
go on a mission trip,
Yeah.
or go serve for several years, or
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just so many ways that you can live your life, and all of those are generally okay. There is no one perfect way that you can
Yeah.
fulfill yourself. And I think that's what's cool. And even hearing you, it's like, that's what we want to support you,
For sure.
you guys. And like, if you're maybe this is your situation. Maybe your mom's sick. This is what my uncle, his mom was, he was the youngest, so his mom was always
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Dad died when he was younger. This is my great uncle. So he just lived with my great grandma, because he's my great uncle, and he just lived with her until he was 48, and
Yeah.
she died, and they gave him the house, and the dude worked as a longshoreman and didn't go to college and lives like a good life, has a
Yeah.
wife, and
Yeah.
like, that was his life. He lived with his mom. Nobody was like, oh, you're a loser, idiot. Like, it was cool to see that in my family. And
Yeah.
so if you're somebody and you're living with your parents for 10, 15 years, like, you're not a loser. Like,
sure.
you got your own life, and
Yeah.
figure it out. And like, as long as you feel like you're progressing and doing the right thing, keep doing that.
Yeah.
If you feel like you should be out of the house and you should move on, you should probably push and move into that.
Yeah.
Like, if you start feeling guilty or awkward or weird, then maybe push into that. But if you feel fine where you're at, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah. And I even think about you and me. Like, you and I took different paths right out of
Totally.
high school.
Yeah.
I went and played college sports and got my degree.
Yeah.
You didn't.
No.
And you're 26.
26.
I'm 25, and we're literally doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And
moved
so it's
out
just like,
on our own. Yeah.
we're both moved out, married, like in ministry, like doing the same exact thing,
Yep.
and took two different paths to get there. And so,
Yep.
like Jacob was saying, like, don't feel discouraged if your path is different than your friends or whatever. Like, just do you. Like, this is the
Just
time where
do
you get to figure out like where God is calling you to be, and whether that's staying around and just getting some work experience. Like, that's something that was really hard for me fresh out of college, is because I played sports, as I had zero job experience. So my resumes literally had zero job experience, not even like a cashier job.
Yeah.
Because I didn't work in high school, because I played sports 24/7.
Right.
And so like it caused harder like situations for me in applying for jobs afterwards.
Yeah.
When the other side has perks and also
Right.
things that probably are a little bit harder as well. So
Totally.
like everything has ups and downs, and it's just like the Lord's going to lead you wherever he's going to lead you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and I think, I praise God when I was 16 years old. My grandma owned a sporting goods store.
Yeah.
So all growing up, we always went there, got all our stuff there. But I got a job when I was young because I didn't play sports in high school. So I was like more or less financially stable, bought my own car, like did all that stuff by myself. Like my mom has helped me along the way, don't get me wrong.
For sure.
I've like totaled cars, so I needed to buy a new one, didn't have enough cash. She's definitely helped me out a bunch.
Yeah.
But like more or less, I bought my own clothes. I bought my own food since I was like pretty much 16, 17. I stopped asking for money.
Yeah.
And so, there's just different paths. And that's what's cool and exciting about, understanding and knowing people's stories. You can live a totally different life, but then ultimately get to the same place. Mm-hmm. And there is no good or bad,
Yeah.
And I think even too, like when we talk about graduation, is the shift in ministries.
Yeah.
Right. So like, fifth graders, if a random fifth grader is listening, you're going into Mike's ministry next year. Or if you're an eighth grader, you're going into mine. Or, 12th graders, you're going to college with Sam and all them. Or, you're going and moving out and hopefully joining another college ministry. Like that's our hope. But like understanding like this is a time where this isn't a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
You're moving on to something that is good.
Yeah.
Like Jesus had the disciples for about 3 years,
Yeah.
And that was his plan. It wasn't Jesus was there forever. Obviously they had the Holy Spirit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But like Jesus wasn't there teaching them everything, giving them parables over and over and over again. He was like, I'm going to be with you for 3 years and then you're going to go off and do this next amazing thing.
Yeah.
And so when I think about ministry, I think about that same thing.
Yeah.
Is like you're going to be in junior high. It's going to be amazing 3 years. And then you get to go into the next stage of life and next ministry. And not that one's better or the other's worse or whatever. But it's like this, you're going to learn new things. You're going to develop into a different person. And so it just is an exciting time as well for ministry. Sure. So what are your thoughts on that? And what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I go back to it being just a transition time. Like whatever that transition is, whether it's fifth grade to sixth grade, eighth grade to ninth grade, 12th grade to college age. Mm-hmm. It's transition time. You make decisions. You're having different decisions that you have to make. And I think like the number one thing that I have seen just in my life and in now being in ministry is like there's an opportunity for you to grow a lot, and there's an opportunity for you to kind of fall back. And I'm talking spiritually more so.
Right.
There's like, because you're getting older and there's more things at your disposal, there's more ways to get you distracted from the things that really matter. And I think that just staying focused on what you know to be true of like your foundation of your faith and keeping that strong will allow you to then, whatever path you decide out of all of those options, you're doing your best to seek God's will and he's with you in those decisions.
Right.
Rather than like for me, when I left high school, my walk with the Lord was solid at that point. But then when I left high school, I strayed away from my faith and started making all of these poor decisions, right?
Yeah.
That caused a lot of pain and pushed me farther back than I would have been if I wouldn't have done those things. And so obviously the Lord used it to get me to where I am now. I'm not perfect by any means, but like those transition times, we have a decision. And I think the biggest decision is, am I going to cling to my faith in this season when there's a lot of change, or am I going to try and figure it out on my own?
Right.
And so I think for the students that are in transition right now, which is a lot of you, it's making sure that you make it a priority, and this is a choice that you can make, to cling to your faith and to your community of people that you trust, even if you are now farther away from them, and allow that to be the thing that guides the decisions you make as you try and figure out what this new season looks like, rather than just going and being like, there's all of these awesome options, I'm just going to go for it. It's going to lead you down probably a path that you're going to have to step back from.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think that's what's so hard. I think specifically for the high schoolers going into college, like that transition is so difficult. Yeah. And we don't have any numbers in front of us to like I can quote off. Yeah. But a lot of people walk away from the church in their college age. You know, like so that transition is really necessary. You need to be making those like mental like notes and thoughts and steps to get connected to a church, or make sure while you're in high school, really start doing that groundwork of like, I need to make my faith my own. Yeah. Like, my youth pastor can't, want it enough for me to for me to actually care about it. Like I need to be making these steps on my own so that when I do go off to college, when I can make my own decisions,
Yeah.
my parents are letting me choose whether or not I go to church
Yeah.
or I get plugged into a ministry at a college that I'm at,
Yeah.
and I'm not, whether or not you're looking. Like, you really need to make those like mental notes and steps of like, I need to get plugged in somewhere,
Yeah.
or I need to be at least doing the groundwork now where I'm like, okay, I can actually read my Bible on my own. I
Yeah.
don't need to go to a Bible study to
Yeah.
pick up my Bible and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So I think, that's the hardest transition, I think, is like really carrying your faith from high school. I've seen it. I've been in ministry for 7 years, not leading specifically here, but I've seen tons of students walk away, and it's hard, and it feels like, sometimes you feel like you put in so much work and effort that sometimes it feels like it's very discouraging for us, or at least for me specifically. And so transition is hard, and it's hard to see students fall down that path, but that is inevitable. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, if you're listening to this right now and you're a high schooler, junior higher, start doing the groundwork now. So, later on, you're not walking away from your faith and then coming back maybe when you start having a kid and you're like, I remember those foundations. I want my kids raised up in that.
Yeah.
So
I want to say one thing, just your story, as someone that wasn't a Christ follower through high school,
Right.
and then being young adult, college aged, and then coming to faith, what would you say to those students that are maybe on that edge of like, maybe they are a Christian, maybe they're not a Christian, maybe they haven't made their faith their own yet, maybe they're just maybe not fully convinced of the gospel yet, or whatever. What would you say were the things you, in that age, when you became a Christ follower, were the things that helped keep you grounded and like direct the way that you were living? Like, what are some things that they can specifically seek out in their life to help direct them through those stages?
Yeah, I think for me, and it's funny you say this because I was just this morning, went on my Facebook because I haven't been on Facebook in forever.
Yeah.
But like I scrolled down and like there was several different posts when I was in high school, and it said like, I can't fall asleep, like my mind's running all the time, I had a really bad day, like really like depressing thoughts of like, I don't want to, it was like, why can't people act this way, or why do I feel this way all the time? And it was really sad. It like took me back, and like that was the time I was smoking weed and drinking to be able to numb those feelings.
Yeah.
And so I had, God had put me down a path where I have tried to do those things to other than like to numb that kind of feeling or emotions that were popping up. And then I found Jesus, and that was the only thing that ever I felt where I didn't feel like I was snapping back into that world. Yeah. Right? Like, so we talk about the 411 training, the 3 circles. That's a whole nother episode and conversation. Yeah. But it's like I lived in this broken world, and I tried to escape this broken world by drugs, alcohol, like dating girls, whatever. And I always continue just to get snapped back into this world of sin. And the only thing that I felt that could ever cover it or help it was obviously a relationship with Jesus. And I think the number one thing that I even have been saying this year is that God is always better. Yeah. God is always better than all of those things. Any like substance, any relationship that you feel like you need to be in, I promise you God is better than all of those things. And I know hindsight is 20/20 or whatever, but really know that God is always going to be better than any of those things that you could be getting into. So I think it was that. Like, I really think like I found a relationship with Jesus that wasn't, it was my own. I wasn't raised in the church. I didn't have summer camps that I went to, or my parents telling me to go, or I needed to go. So it was like I found this on my own, right? Because you need your own personal relationship. That's vital. Yeah. Because otherwise you're gonna lose it. It's gonna be like, do I even believe in what I believe, or do I just believe what my parents have told me for 18 years? Yeah. So I think it's having that personal relationship with Jesus, and then also just understanding and knowing that God is always going to be better than all those things. All those things are going to be leading to passive destruction. So that's it. What about for yourself? What would you say?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It takes time to realize like that Jesus is so much better. And I think someone that did grow up in the church and struggled with, do I just believe this because this is what I've been told my whole life? Totally. Or do I really believe this for myself? I think that's why the Lord allowed me to go down a path of brokenness realize like, yo, I really need him.
Right.
Otherwise I'm going to destroy my life.
Right.
And just realize once I really realized that, like being able to experience his goodness in the midst of all of the other things that worldly look good to me,
Right.
Experiencing his goodness and knowing that it's so much better than where I had been
Yeah.
and the things that I had tried to dabble with or whatever it was. So I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just realizing that Jesus is better. And like, it says over and over in scripture, like if you seek, you'll find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if you feel like you haven't experienced that Jesus yet or
Right.
experienced Jesus in that way yet, like seek him out.
Be
And it's
open.
not just like open up my Bible one time today and like he didn't speak to me, but like daily seek him out, daily ask him to reveal himself to you in new ways or whatever it is,
Yeah.
so that then one day he will answer that prayer. He says, if you draw near to him, he'll draw near to you, right?
Yep.
And so like that's it. It's just knowing that he is so much better and seeking to know him better, and he will draw near to you as well. So
Yeah. And you touch on something that's really important is like, you can't just do it the one time. I'm going to, try to read a Bible or a chapter and be like, God, where are you at?
Yep.
Like I remember when I first started to have a relationship with Jesus and I first started going to church, like I was hungry. Like I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
I was asking questions. Like I was
Yeah.
about it way more than I'm doing now. Like I wish I was back to that point where,
Right.
but I was living fast. I was making mistakes during that time as well, like still drinking and stuff. But like there was a sense that I was really seeking for it.
Yep.
People think you just stumble upon it and it just happens. Because you read that in scripture sometimes that it just happens that way. And so I think there's a misconception of like, okay, that's just going to happen to me. I'm all of a sudden going to be in love with Jesus. But there is like a hunger and a desire that you need to have to be able to grow that relationship and to really seek in that way. So I think that's really important to realize and to know.
Yeah. It's not something that happens overnight.
No.
I would say that God can definitely work that way, but that's not the norm. You know what I mean?
That's not
like
the norm.
it's like working out. You don't just go on one run and all of a sudden you shed the pounds. Like
Totally.
I'll let your boy. If you're on Spotify, just grab my belly. You know what I mean? So like it takes time. It's just consistency of seeking him out. So
True.
Gosh.
So
good.
So good. So if you're a graduate and if nobody has told you they're proud of you, know that we're proud of you.
100%.
We're excited that you are taking a new step into life, and I grab that new step and shake it and say, I'm going to be your master.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, boy! Yeehaw! I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, we're proud of you. We're excited. We hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I know I did in our fancy new setup if you're watching on YouTube.
We got microphones.
Once again, I feel way more professional than being inside of my room talking to a screen, looking at myself the entire time.
I love that.
So it feels good to be back recording. We love you guys. We miss you guys.
Peace.
Peace out.
Love you.